Doctor, lab technician, engineer, social worker. Why do you need to know about business? What's so important about finance? You have your job to do. How does the finance affect you? Well, whatever you're doing, you're part of a business. And businesses all need money to be able to operate. They don't find that on those big trees outside the parking lot. No, they've got to earn it, basically. And they need it so that they can pay bills, pay their employees, pay vendors, buy equipment, buy supplies, and also so that they can be able to invest in research and development to come up with new products and new services. If you're a for-profit business, owners, and that may be you someday, may want to take home some money too so that you can feed the kids, take some nice vacations, basically enjoy life. So if the company you work for doesn't make money, what might happen to you? Well, the company may find itself in a position where it has to downsize, and you might find yourself laid off. Not a good place to be. Have you ever had that lousy experience? It's very difficult. Back in the 1990s, Travelers Insurance Company had a lot of real estate investments, and unfortunately, as the recession hit, they started to go bad. Travelers tried to compensate by raising the prices on its insurance products, but unfortunately, it drove people to their competitors instead of them, and they found themselves having to have layoffs. They had 3 different waves of layoffs until they finally had to merge with a company called Primerica, which was a good move for the organization, but unfortunately, as the 2 organizations merged into one, they had to lay off something of the tune of 30,000 people to be able to function properly. I worked in the field of the litigation division at the time as a regional administrator. I worked with people who were lawyers that were there to practice law, to try to help clients, people who wanted to be paralegals, legal secretaries, we had technology people, salesmen, all of these different types of positions, but they all found themselves out of work because of some bad business decisions that were made. An understanding of finance could have shown the writing was on the wall based on the cash flow and the projected revenues that they could see, as well as seeing what was going on in the economy and the industry. We just went through the Great Recession, hit us a little less than a decade ago. Many companies went out of business, throwing many people into the unemployment world, and some haven't recovered yet. The magazine Small Business by HuffPost reported that 170,000 small businesses went out of business between 2008 and 2010. Imagine that, 170,000 businesses. No one was immune, small or large. Financial institutions made the news with mergers and closures. There was a financial institution called Countrywide that I'm sure many of you have heard of. It no longer exists. It had some bad business decisions. It ended up merging with Bank of America. At the time, I had a student who was part of Countrywide. She was in the technology department, and she told me that they'd been absorbed by Bank of America. They'd had their orientation meeting to go over benefits that day. They told the people in the technology department not to worry about taking notes because they were actually selling them off to Hewlett-Packard the next week, so they would be Hewlett-Packard employees in a week. Many companies were buying, selling different divisions of organizations. The automakers made headlines with bailout requests. Hotels, retail stores all felt the pinch. The list is endless. If you add advances in technology that have changed the way we do business and how we shop, there was another effect there that hit businesses hard. Look at Blockbuster. They put a lot of mom-and-pop video stores out of business, but they ultimately found themselves closing hundreds of stores and laying off thousands of people. It was impacted by technological advances and new ways of getting movies. So how do companies avoid this? Well, honestly, sometimes they can't. When the economy is as bad as it was in the recession, it's very difficult. However, they may be able to weather the storm better with good, sound financial practices, long-range planning, budgeting, using their money wisely, monitoring the budget by producing and reviewing financial documents regularly, and generally that means once a month at least, knowing how to spot potential issues and deal with them early. I was the COO of a small law firm around the turn of the century. Gee, that sounds ancient, doesn't it? We did 5-year projections, we created annual budgets, and we monitored our finances every month so we knew where we were at. In fact, I personally monitored the cash flow daily to be aware of potential revenue problems as soon as they started so that we could fix them before they became a trend. We also had a payroll that hit twice a month, and I had to make sure we had the money to be able to do that. We established a business relationship with a bank, and we estimated about how much money we were going to need to be able to survive if we hit a crunch in a given month. And we established that relationship so that we were able to have that money at our hand on a line of credit. Our goal, of course, was to never use it, and happily we never had to. But that was because of good financial management and staying on top of things. So the good planning paid off, and it paid off even more when a senior partner left the business and took some of the clients with him. Again, we went back to the projections, took a look at how things were going to be over the next 5 years without those clients and what we could realistically do with business development. And we figured out that we could survive, and sure enough, we did. The firm is still in existence today and doing quite well. On the brighter side, at my last firm, we had stellar people who knew their jobs very well and did great jobs for our clients. When the recession hit, we were a bit worried, but our clients had plenty of business. They kept us quite busy, and they rewarded us quite well. So what did that mean for everybody in the firm? Everybody from the attorneys down to the file clerks. Well, the company passed on those rewards to them by giving them extra bonuses, making sure they got good raises, anything they could do to show the appreciation for the work and the effort that was put in to help them be a success for the clients. So what's this mean to a person not involved in the daily cash management or finance? Well, the more you know about your company and its business, the more you can understand some of the steps that it takes. The more you can contribute. So learn about your business. Read the company's webpage. Read news articles that involve your company or that involve the industry that it's in. Pay attention to internal communications and observe what's going on in the workplace. Be someone who understands your job and how it fits into the company's business overall. Look for better ways to get things done and share those with decision makers. Enhancing the business can enhance its operations and profits and enable it to better serve customers while leading to greater security and possibly better rewards and opportunities for advancement for everyone in the organization.